Assalamu alaikum. Our project ID is 933R and me Shagar Fakhruddin with my partner Dalamujek. We are supervised by Assistant Professor Dr. Masna bin Ahmed. Here we are doing the research on challenges to adopt IPv6 in existing IPv4 for a large network. I will talk about the introduction part of our research, where I will talk about background of the study, problem statement, significance of the study, and objective of the study. First of all, background of the study, why we choose this research. Basically, in this new era of communication development, IPv6 is a new version of the internet networking protocol that aims to overcome the existing standard scalability and the depletion of the IPv4. Unfortunately, IPv4 and IPv6 are not somehow compatible, so program and system that are designed for one standard won't work with those written for the others. As a result, seamless transition mechanism must be developed to allow application to continue to function while the networking is updated. So this research paper provides an overview of the obstacles and the security concern that arises while transitioning from IPv4 to IPv6. Our goal in this project, in this research, is to investigating the challenges that large network companies have in transitioning to the IPv6 protocol. We want to see whatever there are any viable options for converting conventional network enterprise infrastructures to IPv6 only networks completely and securely. Problem statement of our research is so far IPv6 is the newest version of internet protocol. Then the communication protocol that allows computer network all over the globe to be uniquely identified and data to be sent between them, usually through the internet. IPv6 was created in response to run out of the address space. As the address is becoming more and more day by day, so IPv4 is not enough for the addressing. So there have been a significant advances in the adoption of IPv6, particularly IPv6 only large-scale implementation in network companies remains low behind in the some areas after 3 decades since the implementation of IPv6. According to the Google research and other sectors, other source, the global rate and on October 13, 2018, the Google barometer indicate that 20% of the internet user access its services via IPv6, coming to 19.21% in January 2018 and 14.74 in January 2017. So the significance of our project is that it will explain in details factors delaying adoption of the protocol IPv6. It will find the limitation of the present transition mechanism that delay IP adoption, and it will also promote why it is necessary for networking companies to shift to IPv6 protocol from IPv4, and it will also give a new approach of simple and effective IPv6 transition technique. So this is the significance of our project and the objective of the study, why we are doing this study, because this study will examines transition process and also the factor that delayed IPv6 adoption, and it will suggest a potential solution for IPv6. It will also potential solution for IPv6 deployment. It will also discuss and suggest some potential for increasing the rate of IPv6 deployment in a large organization. That's all from me. My friend Jalamudek will describe the others. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Dela Mushak, matric number 1820045. For our discussion, we will continue with the overview of IPv6 and IPv4. So IPv4 and IPv6, they are all internet protocols. So IPv4 address number is slightly over 4 billion. Today we're using IPv4 almost in all internet addressing. We have IPv6, which is the Internet Protocol version 6. It's a sixth iteration of the basic Internet protocols, the successor of IPv4. It works in the same way as IPv4. It uses 128 bits compared to IPv4, which uses 32 bits. So, what are the core differences between IPv4 and IPv6? We highlighted the 6 main points from the header IPv4 and the IPv6 header. So, what are the differences? We started with complexity. So IPv4 is more complex than IPv6, and then we look at the fields. We have some fields in IPv4 which are not in IPv6, such as identification field, flag fields. So in IPv6, those options are not present. So for the source and destination for the source and destination address, IPv4 uses 32 bits and IPv6 uses 128 bits. So, and the maximum number of hops in IPv4 in the header, IPv4 header is written as a TTL, which is times to live, and in IPv6 it's written as a limit to hop limits. In IPv6 it's written as limit. In IPv4 it's called TTL, which is time to live. In IPv6 we call it hop limits. So let's move on. For this project we have a timeline. We elaborated our project timeline. So on March 2022 we started with the project elaboration and information elaboration. On March 2022 we started with project information elaboration. So we work on the project schedule and then we started with the introduction, the first two parts of our introduction. So from July to February from July to February 2023. So we'll be working on the next part of our FYP, which is FYP2. So here is the timeline, the Gantt chart. Here is the Gantt chart of our timelines. So as explained before, these are the description and the detail for the timeline. Our methodology, how we started with literature review. So and then we came with data collection. How we collected data, since we are working on the research project, so we collected data from secondary data. So our data collection use library research. So we work on paper study, previous and old paper. So from the old paper we collected the data for our survey question. So for the next step of our FYP2, we will be analyzing our data. So here are some questions of our research, our FYP. So the first question was, what are the primary area of research into IPv6 only deployment and migration challenges? So the goal for this question, for example, is to get a full understanding of the difficulties surrounding IPv6 adoption and to discover also what has been researched in that area. So we have question 2 and question 3 as shown in the slides. For the question 4, for example, is what are the IPv4 adoption strategy? So the goal for this question, for example, is to know the current strategy implemented by some company and help us to suggest the best plan for the IPv6 only adoption. So the IPv4 and IPv6 migration is inevitable, and Internet Protocol exhaustion is yet to be conceived by organization and company as a predominant issue that requires solution. So in this paper, for example, an attempt will be made to highlight the reason for slow migration. So as well as taking into consideration the challenges that are more likely to arise. This analysis will help a large company network to carefully plan their network migration. So thank you. This is all for us. Assalamu alaikum.